Hey there, landlords and aspiring property managers. Welcome back to our channel, where we dive into the nuts and bolts of real estate management. I'm Coach Nate, here to guide you through the maze of managing your properties. Today, we're tackling a question many of you face. Should I manage my properties, or is it time to bring in a property management company? Let's unpack this together, and by the end, you'll be equipped to make an informed decision that best suits your situation. We're going to start with category number one, which is profitability and cost savings. And even though this sounds like something that only has to do with dollars and cents, this actually has a lot to do with what your goals are in life and what makes you happy. But we'll talk more about that part later on in the segment. You know, when it comes to managing properties, one of the biggest considerations is your bottom line. Let's start with the DIY approach. The most glaring advantage? Cost savings. By managing properties yourself, you're saving on those management fees, which typically range from 5% to 10% of your rental income. And let's not forget the potential for higher profit margins. When you're in charge, you often find more cost-effective solutions for maintenance and repairs. Now flip the coin, and let's consider using a property management company. Here's where things get interesting. Sure, you're paying for their services, but think about the time you're getting back. Time that you can now invest in expanding your real estate portfolio or exploring other investment opportunities. The time you save by not having to handle day-to-day management tasks can be invested in researching new property opportunities. This could involve scouting potential locations, analyzing market trends, and networking with real estate agents or attending property auctions. Freed from the day-to-day obligations of property management, you can explore other types of investments outside of real estate. This diversification can include stocks, bonds, or starting a new business. Diversifying your investment portfolio can be a smart way to spread risk and increase potential returns. Okay, going back to what I said in the beginning, which is really understanding yourself, understanding what's important to you. Are you the kind of person that wants to be involved in every aspect of your property, or are you the kind of person that wants to expand, purchase more buildings, or do you feel security in having more diversified investments? And it's important to know that what's right for you is not right for somebody else. Not only that, it's also important to know what you're good at and what you're not good at, and to be honest with yourself. For example, are you willing to spend a lot of time thinking about maintenance and repairs? If not, you might want to outsource this to a property management company. And that's the next category that we're going to talk about, which is category number two, maintenance and repairs. Moving on to maintenance and repairs. If you're doing it yourself, you've got full control. You decide who fixes what and when. You know your property like the back of your hand, which means you often anticipate problems before they balloon into bigger issues. Plus, there's a sense of security and direct communication that's hard to beat. But wait. Let's consider the benefits of having a property management company. They've got networks of contractors and suppliers, often snagging discounts you might not have access to. And let's be honest, having someone else handle those after hours and weekend emergency calls, that's a huge relief. Before we move on to the next category, which is time savings and stress reduction, I just want to go over some points regarding maintenance and repairs. Now, it's true that if a property management company has a lot of clients and they have a lot of buildings that they manage, that they would have more volume. Of course, let's say a plumber, for example, is going to take you more seriously if you give them a lot of work, and he'll show up on time, and he's more likely to be there in an emergency, and he's more likely to give you a good price. But it really depends on the property management company. Some of them don't have a lot of connections. So if that's the advantage that you want to have, you need to try to find out how they do during emergencies, especially during off hours and on weekends, and how easily they're able to get plumbers and electricians, especially. So you want to see what kind of connections they have and how quickly they can get that service when you need it. I've also seen it where DIY landlords have developed relationships with an electrician or a plumber or a handyman, and they work with them for years. It works very well. So in either case, you can make it work. You can make it work by being a DIY landlord and developing those relationships, or you can outsource that to a property manager if you don't want those headaches. And again, you just have to make sure that the property management company is giving you what they promised. All right, let's talk about time and stress. DIY property management can be a handful, especially if you're juggling multiple properties. Okay, I've already alluded to this in the two prior categories, and that has to do with emergency situations, handling emergency situations. If you're going to manage the day-to-day of your properties yourself, this becomes a lifestyle. This is something that you have to deal with every day, and sometimes it's quiet and sometimes things flare up. Sometimes it's quiet when your apartments are fully occupied, but sometimes things flare up when a tenant leaves and you have to do renovations. You have a new tenant coming in, the apartment has to be painted and cleaned, and maybe there's a lot of repairs that need to be made because the previous tenant did a lot of damage. Maybe they didn't use the exhaust fan or open up the window when they took a shower in the bathroom, so now you have mold on the ceiling. Or maybe they damaged the kitchen cabinets, whatever it is. So if you're lucky, maybe you have a handyman that you've worked with for a long time, but maybe the handyman has other clients that he works for, so he has to juggle between you and them, and maybe doesn't show up as promised, so things get delayed, but you have a deadline because a new tenant is moving in, so the pressure starts to build. Or maybe things are very quiet in the building, but then it's winter and the temperature drops, and all of a sudden you have problems with your boiler, and the tenants are calling you because they are not getting any heat. And of course, if it's during the heating season, like it is in New York, where there's regulations for that, now you have a big problem because you can get a violation, and it's not so easy to cure those violations. Then the stress starts to build again. Now, before I completely discourage you from managing your own buildings, I can tell you that over time, you're going to learn the ins and outs of every little detail of your building, and you'll understand the regulations regarding your buildings better, and you'll understand how to keep up with maintenance, and hopefully you'll learn how to find better electricians, plumbers, handymen, and you'll learn how to motivate them so that they're available when you need them in an emergency. And as time goes by, you'll learn how to deal with your tenants, and you'll understand that each one is very different from the other. All that knowledge will save you a lot of time and gradually will reduce your stress level. I actually have to say for myself that I really enjoy the work and learning more and more about the buildings. So I don't think it's not entirely possible that you can actually learn to really enjoy the process. On the other side, a property management company can take a huge load off your shoulders. They handle the nitty-gritty details, freeing you up to focus on other aspects of your life. Think about it. More time for family, traveling, or even like we mentioned earlier, scouting new investment opportunities. Now, it might sound like I'm just stating the obvious, but if you hire a property management company, you have to understand that you have to now manage the property management company. Managing a property management company is a lot less time-consuming and a lot less stressful if they're a good company and you're happy with them than managing a building and everything that's going on in the building. But the caveat is that you're happy with their work and that they're doing a good job. One way to manage the property management company is to ask for a status report, for example. Every building owner is different in that regard. Some building owners want to know about every little detail in their building. They want to know about every clogged toilet or missing package in the mail room or whatever it is. Some landlords want to have a financial report every week, at the end of the week, or every month, or they want to know about the legal proceedings for a tenant who's in arrears. In conclusion, when you're lucky enough to bring in a good property management company, you're leveraging their expertise. They've seen it all, and they bring a wealth of knowledge to the table. Sure, you're stepping back a bit, but you're also gaining the perspective of seasoned professionals, whereas managing your properties yourself is a learning journey. You're in the driver's seat, making all the key decisions. So landlords, whether you decide to go DIY or hire a property management company, remember, it's all about choosing the path that aligns with your goals and lifestyle. And hey, if you're looking to sharpen your property management skills, I've got just the thing for you. Check out my upcoming course and coaching services designed to take your real estate management to the next level. You'll find all the details in the video description below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more content. Thank you so much for tuning in. Remember, in property management, every day is a learning opportunity. Here's to your continued success.